And then go live. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Health Hack Thursday, your weekly dose of real life wellness tips, simple rituals, and inspiring stories to support your health journey. I'm your host, Neliza Patterson, and I help high achieving moms release postpartum weight, exhaustion, and overwhelm so they can reclaim their energy, focus, and show up fully both at work and at home. As a holistic health practitioner, I am deeply passionate about advocating for maternal wellness and supporting mothers all seasons. I am passionate about guiding individuals on their path to holistic healing, supporting hormone balance, restoring gut health, and optimizing nutrition, and also deepening the mind-body connection. So today, I'm holding the fort solo. My wonderful co-host, Megan, isn't able to join us today. Many of you know Megan as a skilled herbalist, aromatherapist, and a regenerative health practitioner. But she's also a very dear friend and a constant source of light in our community. Right now, she's navigating a deeply challenging season. Her home recently burned from top to bottom. She and her family have lost so much. While she was able to recover a few belongings, the loss has been very heavy on her and her family. And this season is requiring so much strength from both of all of them. So please keep Megan and her family in your thoughts and prayers. And for those who feel called to help, I'll include a link to her GoFundMe in my comments. Every little bit really does help and make a big difference. So let's surround her with an abundance of pure love and light and trust that the right people and resources will come into her life to help make this transition as smooth as possible. Now, let's dive into today's episode. You are in for a very powerful and inspiring conversation with Yarrow Dankert. Yarrow grew up on a mountaintop in Colorado and has lived a holistic lifestyle her entire life. No shots, no pills, no preservatives, truly understanding the importance of the earth and all it has to offer. So over the years, Yarrow has worn many hats. Licensed massage therapist, a facial technique body worker, certified clinical herbalist, certified in iridology, and now a regenerative health practitioner. She even owned her own health food store, raised three beautiful children, plus a bonus daughter, and has been happily married for 20 years. Her life's work blends traditional wisdom, holistic practice, and regenerative health strategies rooted in nature, family, and well-being. So, Yarrow, thank you so much for being here with us today. I'd love to start at the beginning. You've been immersed in holistic living since birth. What has that lifelong connection to the earth and natural health taught you about true healing?
Oh, goodness. Um, it has taught that holism is really about the whole picture. So on Health Hack Thursday, um, I think that doing all the little things and having all the little habits, like these glasses, yours are probably the same. They're blue blocking glasses. They're blocking me from having to receive too much blue light into my eyes, the EMFs, then affecting my cells on a negative level. Um, I do little things all day long. I've just brought some of my stuff with me. I eat fruit for breakfast every single day. This is the number one most important thing to make you get alkaline. It will help to move your lymphatic fluid. It helps to make you go to the bathroom, which is so, so important. Pooping's at the base of everything. I have my algae, my dark green leafy algae. I do a greens drink every day, sometimes twice a day. Minerals are absolutely important for nurturing our nervous system and for keeping the current flowing in our body. I mean, that's ultimately metals. Metals and minerals, they fit in the same receptors in the body and they nurture the nervous system and they have so many different functions. And they help our brain function and our cells themselves. And we need minerals on so many levels and we're just not getting them out of the earth today.
Mm.
As a practitioner, I get to see how these environmental effects are really affecting people. We are really being bombarded with poison. We're living in toxic soup. We are breathing it. We are putting it on our skin. We are washing our clothes in it. Um, And I think the biggest thing that has really come about for me is that I realize that people just don't know. They
Mhm.
just don't know that these things are really having an effect on them, that there are other things they can do. I make it a priority to teach my kids and talk to them and tell them what's happening all the time. I'm drinking my hydrogen water every single day. I'm taking my pre-digested super aminos every single day. I mean, all of these things have to do with how my brain functions, how grounded I feel in my own body, how happy I am or not, how my ability to deal with stress is a huge thing. And I think it's really massive in the world. And we
Mhm.
all just came through this event, this COVID shenanigans, and it's brought a lot of things to light. But I think one of the things that is the most apparent for me is that humanity is supposed to be functioning more as a web of life. We are all human beings, and we're supposed to really be connected in that and be supporting each other, right? And I think that we're losing that. I think that's what we're losing as we are exposed to fluoride, which calcifies our pineal gland, and stress, which makes our hearts close. We don't have the ability to be there as support for other people and for the bigger picture of what is happening with humanity as a whole. And so, in that, that's where I see the true value in all the life hacks and the biohacks. And when my kid gets a sore throat, he comes home and says, "Mom, I need the silver." And he just does it on its own. It's in the cabinet. He does the spray. We take our tinctures. Um, we do the other things that are available that are not mainstream medicine. And in that way, I think it makes a huge difference in your life and how you feel. And then as a practitioner, it gives me the ability to pass on the tidbits that when you do 10 tidbits in a day, it creates a lifestyle and it makes it easier for you to function on the planet as a human. Decalcify your pineal gland and detoxify your gut. 9 out of 10 messages go from your gut to your brain, and only one is going back from your brain to your gut, which means your gut is entirely responsible for how you feel.
Yes.
That's been profound.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I feel like we've lost touch in like the reality. And I was just talking to somebody about, you know, there's this blue glass I had read about like the benefits that you actually get and why our ancestors, our grandparents, generations from us did these things or had these things because it wasn't just for decorative purposes, but for health benefits and the way they cooked, the way they prepared food, just everything. I feel like we have been so lost in touch with the real natural process of how things are supposed to be because of convenience, right? And I think that we've been so wired to just make everything easy. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I've always cooked everything for my children from day one, and I've never bought anything outside of what I make at home. And people are like, "Oh, that takes too long. That takes too much." Honestly, it's not. It's actually the easiest. It's you're not going to the store, having to look for whatever it is that your kid wants. It's right there at home. You don't have to go anywhere. You're just right there, and the preparation really is super simple, easy, 15 to 20 minutes to make food even for dinners. You try to do raw and really healthy meals that right now people are saying, oh, healthy food takes too long to make. And then it's not. I think to me, it takes longer to get on getting all the kids ready, getting in your car, looking for something to eat, waiting, ordering, and then you have to wait like 30, 45 minutes to even get your food. By that, you already had already cooked a 30-minute meal. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that people have just lost touch in our natural process and healing. And I think that I love doing these health hack episodes because I want to remind people like our true meaning of who we are as human beings and everything that we have around us that is, so simple and readily available. Just like, I was thinking simple things like dandelion. We talk about how we need to destroy dandelion because it's so inconvenient and whatever it is, it's not pretty for some reason. And people don't quite understand that the dandelion from root to flower is edible and it has medicinal benefits. So, if these things are really available for us naturally, and we don't have to go beyond looking for something synthetic or convenient, as we say. So I really, really appreciate it. I do have some couple of questions for you. Um, so tell me, was there a moment growing up where you realized how different your health approach was from most people?
It didn't happen till later. It wasn't when I was growing up. It was quite a bit later, into my adulthood, even, and having children, where my kids then say, like, Mom, you just wouldn't believe what the other people are doing, what people are eating, what people talk about, what people value.
Mm.
So I didn't really get to see it till then. I'm not that analytical of a person. I'm an Aquarius, and I'm kind of out in the clouds and like making tinctures and thinking about bodies and how all that's going. So it didn't become really concrete for me until more recently. And especially these last 5 years since I got introduced to Purium, actually,
Mhm.
was my initial. It's a superfood company that Neliza and I both take daily, I'm sure. It's 1% of the highest quality food on the whole planet. And I just, I've just realized who I am in these last 5 years, to be
Mhm.
honest. I feel like I just finally grew up, just came into myself, and just started really realizing my ability to make an impact and make a difference in the world by being more, by honoring what I do know and the kind of life that I have lived, and noticing or recognizing how it's different than what the norm is. Because you can only connect with people that are doing the norm if you have that, if I can understand that vibration, ultimately.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. Nutrition was the missing link in my life and also in my practice, supporting my clients the way I should have been. Before I didn't really have a lot of nutritional recommendation, and I am so beyond grateful that I have all of these tools, these advanced modalities that we get to recommend now and also use ourselves. It has made a drastic change in my life, my children's life, and my family. And it's just been such a beautiful journey. And just tweaking that small little nutritional change and knowing exactly where your food is coming from. Um, so then there's another thought that I had, and it just kind of flew out of my head. But I also want to know, like, your experience as a massage therapist and a facial technique body work. Now, how, yeah. So how does that, like, do you use those in your holistic health now, like your approach, or is it something that you just kind of put aside?
It's all collective, right? So I started right out of high school. I went to massage therapy school, which introduced me to the all the muscles in the body and all the names of them and how they're functioning. I had a very holistic massage school teacher. So she drew in the idea that you can have trapped emotion in your body and that you hold tension in certain places in the body naturally, automatically. That's what we do. So that piece came in, and then I went to herbology school thereafter. And Michael Moore was my teacher down in Arizona, Bisbee, Arizona. And he is a true herbologist, which means that he was brilliant. He could see in his mind's eye the chemicals that came from the plants and how they interacted with the chemicals in her body. So he was way more advanced than I could ever be, but he brought us all over the place and he showed us all the herbs and he talked to the deities of the herbs. And ultimately, I mean, that's how people first learned what herbs were for. Of course, the plants told them what to use them for. So my ability and my perspective expanded again into the idea that energetically, we have to vibrate or have resonance with whatever we're taking in. So as I'm harvesting the herbs, these behind me, these are some tinctures here in bottles that I make and press and harvest and do the whole process and then bottle up and help other people with them. As you're harvesting the herbs, you have to be in touch with the plant itself and be thankful and show gratitude and do offerings of tobacco and make sure that the plant that you're picking is the powerful one. All of everything has to do with mind, body, and soul always. And so that idea of holism just continued to be compacted in me of like, it's really, really important, all the pieces. You can't just do a little bit and expect to get this whole outcome. So from there, I practiced a little bit. I was young still. I graduated, I went to herbology school when I was 21. So I was still very young. And then I moved back to the city, back to Denver from my mountaintop childhood and upbringing. And I worked at a vitamin cottage. And
Mm.
at the vitamin cottage, the owner had been a gentleman who had had brain cancer, and he had healed himself of brain cancer using natural modalities. Now, at the time, I wasn't asking what the natural modalities were. I wish I had. But I became more accustomed and more interested in vitamins and supplements and the sourcing and where they were coming from and just learning specifics of things that you have going on in your body. If you're having trouble with your thyroid, you might need vitamin A. I mean, stuff like that, just simple run of the mill down to earth stuff where before I was just always eating healthy, having stir fry, doing those kinds of things. And I think that in the 70s, we were kind of okay if we were just eating healthy. If you had a salad 2 or 3 times a week, you were still getting the mineral efficiency that you needed. You're still receiving nutrition and nurturants from the earth, a little more at least. And then about halfway through the 80s in 1986 is when glyphosate became
Mhm.
really, really common. And they also relieved the pharmaceutical companies of being responsible if someone got hurt when they got the vaccinations. And so from 1986 on, we really have accelerated in the amount of poison that we're receiving sprayed directly on our food, which then harms the microbiome of the earth, which we're all connected to, and also not receiving, being able to receive the getting more vaccinations and people thinking that that's normal and okay. And there's formaldehyde in there, and there's mercury in there, and there's all these actual known poisons in there that are ultimately over time just breaking down your immune system, breaking down the structure of your body, calcifying your pineal gland. So making you farther and farther away from your true inner knowing and your intuition and tearing apart your gut, which we already mentioned is important, so important for everything. The gut is at the basis of everything. So along that path, I just started to just wake up a little bit more and learn a little bit more and add those things on. And then I moved to New Mexico to be kind of near my parents. They had a farm way outside of town and did a lot more herbalism. Then I got really involved. My mom started to grow echinacea. She and I formed our company, our Simple Botanicals company, which here's my Wonder Lips. We started our company with a product called the Wonder Balm, which my mom ultimately made initially to put on our animals because when you're living out in the desert on a farm, you need something consistently to be putting on your critters. They always have prickers, they get bit by rattlesnakes. There's always something going on. Somebody's got a cut or an owie. So I immersed myself in that some more and just the wild crafting and going out in the woods and really looking for the herbs and created this company. And then a dear friend of mine, chiropractor, wanted me to open a health food store, a juice bar, actually. And the during the process of that, he was going to get a divorce, and the 800 square foot building turned into a 3,000 square foot building. And I was very young and naive and said, oh, we'll just open a whole health food store. Like, no big deal. I can use up 3,000 square feet. No, I worked at Vitamin Cottage. And I did. I opened us a full-on health food store with a deli, with vitamins and supplements, with my whole herbal thing. I was doing juice fast counseling because the chiropractor, that was what he wanted initially. He had heard that there was a cure for COPD in carrot juice on its own, which, and actually there was. We did it with a lady, and he also was doing chiropractics on her and using some supplements, and she recovered. She actually reversed her COPD. And then I was seeing clients on a herbalist basis and also making supplement suggestions. So just expanding that web and going like, oh, I realize. And then I started teaching classes in my store and like the importance of vitamin C and talking about Linus Pauling and being the Nobel Prize winner. And there were just all these little compounding things. Dr. Max Gerson, who healed many, 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 many people with the Gerson protocol, which is used for cancer. Initially, he had migraines, and so he created the elimination diet. He ate only apples for like a week. Then he started juicing, and then he found out that ultimately that cured his headaches and tried it on a bunch of other people, and it turned out to be a cure, which I whatever. It turned out to be able to reverse leukemia, which is blood cancer, which is pretty serious, right? That got to the structure of your body that's concrete. Um, and then I learned about Essiac tea, which is passed on from the Native American culture. It was a Blackfoot Indian recipe that is a super detoxifier and
Mm.
was used by a nurse in the 1940s. She passed the recipe on, and she had people come live in her home and helped many, many people reverse cancer with the Essiac tea. Which still exists, and I worked with people who were sick in my store in the Little Sprout, and then I had a gentleman come in who had MS.
Mm.
He was really, really sick. And I had mostly stopped doing body work at that time. But MS has a lot to do with the way your body can function. Ultimately, it's a toxicity disease, but it is the way it starts breaking down the myelin sheath in your brain. And then those scars create dysfunction in the way your body moves and the way you can function. Ultimately starts to break things down. People end up in wheelchairs and whatnot.
Hmm.
So he came in and said, "Hey, I'm here from Milwaukee or up there in the great northern yonders, and I'm really, really sick and I need to change my life." And everything was falling apart for him. So he had come to a place that was a lot warmer, which a lot of people do when they're having trouble with that cold and damp kind of issue in the body, which is more of a Chinese way to look at things. And he said, "I think you can fix it. What do you think?" And I said, "I do think I can fix it." So we got him on everything. He was doing wheatgrass juices and these big giant shots of B12. We were doing the juice. I changed his whole diet plan and made up schedule for him that was mostly plant-based. Just teaching him about just like real food, just eat real food. It all just seemed like really normal to me, like really common. Like, don't buy Doritos. It can't, there's plastic in there. Like your body can't process that. Um, Understanding and knowing the body work first
Hmm.
gave me the foundation to be able to grow all that on top of. So I was always really, really thankful for, first of all, knowing just regular massage therapy has more to do with stress and holding things in your body, getting to know yourself and love yourself. But then fascial stuff, Rolfing, structural integration, and fascial technique is like in the fascia is where the emotions actually get trapped in the body. And fascia has a lot to do with it's like the gait, it's how you moved. It's anytime you ever had an injury, when you dislocated your left shoulder and then your body changed the way it moved from there on out, then that left shoulder is glued together forever. Then the shoulders represent the liver and the weight of the world. And these things get caught up in our psyche, and our trauma can create disease and create the way we're feeling. And so being able to see that in someone else's body, to have somebody walk down the aisle at my health food store and for me to be able to know that they had an injury at some point, oh, look at the way that guy's left hip, whatever, stuff like that. It makes a big difference in being able to work with people and just having a more eclectic and holistic view of everything, I think. So that health food store was huge for me. And my my guy recovered from MS. He reversed it. And it took us like 2 months or something. It didn't really seem like that big of a deal. Um, and that was it. I was like, oh, okay. Then I started to realize more that other people don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did end up having to close my store. It's a very, very small town. So I volunteered there for 7 years and then we decided it was too much. I was having babies and had to be the mom and do stuff at home, do more home stuff than I could handle my store. So started just seeing clients online a little, felt a little bit of a lull in my life. I'd say just felt kind of, it was very difficult to close the store. It was the most beautiful, wonderful time in my world with my new babies and this beautiful creation. My husband is a builder, so he built the store, like he built the countertops out of old barnwood and really made it super aesthetically beautiful. And then I did all of the businessy stuff. Um, and a little while later, my Kimberly found me online, my best friend in fourth grade, and said, hey, I haven't seen you forever, and I have these amazing superfoods, and I wonder if you want to try them. And I definitely wanted to try them. I still, even though it didn't have my store, was ordering cases of superfoods often. I order through a co-op, so I get 25-pound bags of rice, and I do everything in bulk always, and was offering it to my family. And we were still doing community grocery shopping and going organic and raising chickens and doing local and having my garden and all the things. And so Kimberly kind of opened the door back up for me to continue living and pursuing having impact in the world and being able to use my knowledge to really change people's lives and help people get well. And that enlivened me and turned me back on and introduced me to Carrie Drinkbine, who is the Institute of Regenerative Health and is a very powerful woman in her own right. She was very sick. She learned a lot and she's passing on that knowledge. She has a clinic and she started the Institute of Regenerative Health. So as I made my way through that program, it just helped me remember everything and who I am. And now I have this community of beautiful people and I really feel seen. And I've been reversing diagnoses for people. About the last 2 years, I've been in practice doing regenerative health and using all of my eclectic pieces of knowledge and being able to bring that in and help people create a whole them in a way that's really, really fulfilling. So I'm that was a lot more than you asked,
No,
but
it's okay. Yeah, it's
yeah.
great that you got into depth and, trying to give clarity. Just going back, I love how you were already in that healthy lifestyle, but realized that there's far more to learn. And life just kind of flowed for you. You weren't looking for it, but it was given to you, and you just kind of embraced it as you move forward, from your 20s all the way to now. And then you continue to learn. And I think that's one of the things that I like to reach out to those healers, to those fitness coaches, to those, people who are living naturally and healthy. But there's always something out there to learn more. And there's always some more things to optimize our health. It's not one size fits all. It doesn't end to one thing. I'm the same way. I didn't live a complete healthy lifestyle as you, but because of my experience in my health, I was forced to do those things and naturally heal myself. And then the more I learned, the more I was like, wow, this is a whole new world coming from the medical, field and understanding human anatomy and how our body, functions inside and out, and then adding that to nutrition and like how that affects it. It's all interconnected and you learning about the muscles and all that stuff is just so incredible because our lives bring us to points where we have to learn something. And then as we move forward, we're like, oh, that's why I needed to learn that because now it makes sense, right? Like you said, it makes sense now. You were able to learn all these, the herbs, the plants, everything, and even up to the muscles and our body and how we function physically and mentally. And I love that because I think that's most of where most healers come from, holistic healers, because then we start to realize the wholeness of healing.
Yeah.
It's not, like I said, it's not just one thing and you just take this and that, because then there's always that missing link. There's always that missing something. I was just reading something where somebody had talked about like cancer in their family and they need to detox. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, don't don't ask anybody on the internet on what to use. There is a preparation in detoxifying your body, and you have to be very, very careful of taking things that you buy online. Some of them still have the binders that are not natural, they're synthetic. Also, preparing your body. You have to know how to prepare your body before you do any drastic things, especially if you have a chronic illness. And, that's where you and I come in, is to really support people to getting back to the basics, understanding what is going on with your body, understanding the signals of your body and how to prepare that and listening to it. I love that you said, reversing diagnosis. That is, I think it's one of my most favorite of what we do, is knowing that within a couple of months, you reverse somebody's diagnosis and you're like, wow. And it seems like such a major miracle. And, for most it is, because they're worried that this is something lifelong. They're told it is lifelong issues. And then just a tweak of nutrition, a tweak of little bit of mindset, and a lifestyle change, your entire world just completely gets better, not worse. And yeah, so I love how deep you got there. And thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge. Like I said, you guys, this is a very powerful conversation. Yarrow has such an amazing knowledge of everything natural, plants, herbs, and you know it all the way from top to bottom, toes to head. And she is here to really support you in many, many ways that you absolutely need. She has gone above and beyond to understanding everything that we don't have the time to do. So she is here if you want to reach out to her. So Yarrow, one more thing. What is your one simple health hack that anyone can start today to feel more grounded, nourished, and connected to their body, like a daily ritual that's been a constant in your own life?
It's that. It's that eating fruit is so important.
Yep.
It's so, so important. A red grape is the highest vibration food that you can possibly eat on the whole planet. And that changes everything. And so it has to be organic. This is a local watermelon. Red grapes, melons, and berries are the very highest, and drink lemon water. That's what you could start today. If you ate breakfast, if you ate fruit for breakfast and had a glass of lemon water, things
Yeah.
would change. Literally within 3 days, things would change for you.
So every episode with all our health hacks, I love it. We always go back to that lemon water. And starting with fruits in the morning. You don't want
Yeah.
anything heavy. You want something nutritional and something that your body doesn't need to process so heavily. We're so used to the American breakfast, right? Like the heavy potatoes and eggs and bread. And so then by midday, you're exhausted. Wonder
Mhm.
why? It's because you just made your body work for the last couple hours and now you're like starving and you're exhausted and you're irritable because of how you started your day. So let's change that and change your morning routine with a simple glass of lemon water, lukewarm or warm it up. I love
Yeah.
to add Celtic salts to just add minerals in there and start with some fruit. Simple melons, like you said, berries and grapes. And then you will see the difference, honestly, in your mood and how you really tackle the day and just the motivation that you receive from just that nutritional breakfast. And yeah, so thank you so much for that. It's just really funny because we always say lemon water. It's like I hope that everybody does hear that because it's said many, many times, and it is truly, truly such a simple ritual, simple routine that you can make, and it makes a huge difference in how you can do the day. But for everyone tuning in, if today's episodes resonated with you, please like, share, and tag someone who would love to hear Yarrow's message. And again, I will drop that GoFundMe link to help our friend Megan. And if you want to, connect with Yarrow, please let them know how they can connect with you and talk with you and do a consult with you.
Okay. You can find me on Facebook, Yarrow Dankert, and or I do have a website. It's at wholehealthcollective.care. And my herbal products are on a website as well at simplebotanicals.com.
Thank you. So we'll be back in 2 weeks with more real life wellness hacks, every insight, expert insights, and conversations to help you thrive through every season of life. Until then, honor your body, spend some time in nature, and keep showing up for your health and your joy. Till next time, bye.
Thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you.